Welcome to Anfield Road TV. Me and Kev from Spider LFC. If you are watching on the repeat, do always get involved in the comment section below. We will always get back to you. Big game on the horizon, Kev. Saturday, tomorrow evening. Reds, let us know your thoughts and expectations going into this game.
Telepathically.
Yes, of course. And get your score predictions in as well. Is any Villa fans? Thank you, welcome, and thank you for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts on going into this game as well. Kev, Aston Villa. I tell you what, Unai Emery, the job he's done since coming in at Aston Villa has been nothing short of absolutely, utterly phenomenal. How have you gauged this season from Villa?
They're good. I mean, they're transitioning bit by bit. You know, that there was a massive jump in their standard, like from kind of mediocre up to where they are kind of now, and they're gradually just tweaking positions, losing play. Like Diaby left, obviously he was near the other year. Probably they need players that kind of will stay loyal to Villa and the badge, that kind of thing. And they've got a good kind of group of them there now at the moment, and I think another couple of additions and they're laughing. I do like your man Rodgers that's playing from in the middle of the park. He's a handy enough player.
The young lad forward.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. So he's number 10. Is he playing number 10?
He's a winger striker anyway.
I see him everywhere on the bloody pitch half the time. So it's that young lad Rodgers. He looks handy enough. We all know what Ali Watkins is capable of, and the likes of. So yeah, there's a few handy players there at Villa.
Yeah, big up there, Niall. Hope you're well, mate. I know you've had a very good, fine Friday evening, mate. And now if you're free this weekend if you're free now, mate, I'll drop you the link on Twitter anyway, mate. Just give us a buzz and we'll sort that. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, mate. Yeah, as Kev said there, Rodgers obviously on the books at Manchester City a couple of years back anyway, but he was involved in that Jack Grealish deal in regards to obviously the included in that, well, not included, but it was part of the package anyway in regards. And I'll tell you what, as Kev said, phenomenal footballer and certainly one to keep an eye on in terms of developments. Obviously,
3 goals so far this season as well.
Yeah, so 100%, mate. European adventure for Aston Villa as well this season, if anyone's not been taking a notice of them. But obviously the recent loss to Club Brugge, which was very surprising, in all honesty, Kev. I'll get your Kev's thoughts, but Reds, Villa fans, let us know. Bit of a madness. Tyrone Mings, head gone. Yeah, I think I'd say you wouldn't even see that at Sunday League level, really. Did you see that?
Yeah, I watched it. It's weird.
I know Villa fans are saying obviously Arsenal done it. Was it last year in regards to their Champions League? But I think it was a correct decision. But bit of obviously Tyrone Mings being out the game for a very long time. But good to see him back anyway. He's a good sense.
It's just a head wobble more than he's concentrating on so much. You got a lot building up, and when you're coming back and you're trying to defend, like you used to defend. I know you're always in training, and you're doing it, but once you're in the game management side of things. In training, that's not going to happen where the ball's going to just get rolled back. You're going to pick it up, throw it back regardless of what's happening. And he was in that kind of still training mindset. That's what it looked like to me. And you might say, "Oh, give your head a wobble. You're in the game. You're in the game." But sometimes you could lapse for like you're lapsing for a second. You just pick up the ball, throw it back to the keeper because you think it's because you've said you've got a gentleman's honor thing where you're going to restart the play or whatever. It doesn't work like that, sadly, in the main game, or should I say, rightfully so as well. But look, I don't know what he was doing, but Tyrone Mings has always been a handy enough defender for Aston Villa. He's been very good for them. So I just put it down to one. The best of our players have had head wobbles.
Yeah, so. I'm just hoping it doesn't knacker them. As any Villa fans, let us know tonight or on the post comments. I hope that doesn't knacker them for the qualifying. I tell you what, if they can finish in the top 8, that would be another, I'd say, not a miracle because they've got a good squad, good manager, capable of progressing into the latter stages of European competition, considering his great portfolio of winning the Europa League so well. Obviously got to the semi-finals against Liverpool with that Villarreal team not too long ago. So it just goes to show that with the right recruitment, mainly in the dugout, obviously Arne Slot's doing really well with us, but I think there's certainly a lot of clubs out there, Kev, that analyse Unai Emery's game. I think he would have even, dare I say it, I think if he was appointed at Manchester United, I know there'd still be the background noise and all that, but I think he would have
He gets the best out of players.
Yeah, you get the best out of what he was, what he could have with Man United, mate. But
he's that kind of player. He's like the opposite of what you would call a Sam Allardyce, but has the same impact. So if you put like Sam Allardyce into a craft team near the bottom of the league, he normally saves them. If you put what's his name, Sean Dyche into a craft team at the bottom of the league, he'll save them, or he'll win the lower division, one or the other. It's that kind of way, and that's what it is with Unai Emery. Is because he gets the best out of the players. He makes them believe in themselves. He makes them believe in what in the all round game. I still think he's a better manager than Arteta, and I don't know how Arsenal ever got rid of him. Yeah. They needed him to give him more time. Look what they've done for Arteta because he was an ex-player. If they gave the same graces to Emery, Arsenal probably would have won a few things by now. To be honest with you, because he got him to that standard. You'd Odegaard coming in, he was getting rid of all the dead weight like Aubameyang and all that coming into that stage. So it's all good. Yeah, he would have done fairly well at Arsenal, especially with their ability to be able to fund the team. So yeah.
Yeah, chat, let us know your thoughts on Unai, mate. Quite rightfully deserves all the flowers as well that he deserves. And I tell you what, if he can get another top 4 finish with this Aston Villa side, considering obviously you spend some money really, but I think as we just alluded to, they're not the biggest budget in the Premier League. Yes, they've got rich owners.
Everybody's spending money in the Premier League, though, Jack. Yeah. Every team can spend 60, 70 million easily. I don't care how low minutes. When the smallest team comes up, they're given like 150 million. To spend, some of that is to cover their books and whatever, and they try to spend at least 60 out of it. So it's just to kind of keep them afloat, really, and try and get them to be competitive.
Not everyone has the quality in the dugout.
They haven't got it. No. That's the whole point. Yeah, they can spend it in the main team.
You can spend all your money, but you can absolutely splurge it on absolute utter dross.
Like Spurs after Bale.
It's 7-8 signings with that, mate. So.
110 million spent or something like that. I don't know what it was. But no, my point is that there's enough there to spend. Like every team is able to spend now. It's just doing it right. And I think Aston Villa did it right where they spread the cost across and created a bit of a squad there, which is better. If you got Forest took a risk when they came up first by buying all of those players, and it showed because they nearly went down last season. And now look at them, because now they've balanced the team right. That was taking a huge risk, and they're probably going to be like in financial fair play trouble over the next 2 seasons. So you'll hear about that in 3 seasons' time, about that last season, how much they've spent on all of that. But they're hoping that they can balance the books before that, and the sentence will be lenient, probably like a 6-pointer in 3 seasons or something like that. And they're willing to take that risk if they stay up, yeah. But if they take that risk, that's what I'm saying. Teams are taking the risk, or they're spreading it across the board, and spreading it across the board like Villa did is better. Spreading it across the board like Crystal Palace did is better, because even though they're not winning much of anything, they're still maintaining a good status within the Premier League now. Whereas Crystal Palace used to be yo-yo, same as Watford, same as West Brom, same as Norwich. They'd go up, they'd come up, they'd spend only a few bob, and they'd go back down. But they didn't spread it well. They wouldn't spend, they would just make sure that their future was insured, and that's because the stand isn't big enough, or it's great with a team that comes up that has a big stand. Newcastle were able to survive fairly easily because that revenue from their stadium alone would keep them afloat in the league regardless of winning anything. So.
Yeah, main thing. Big up to Unai Emery's Aston Villa, but it doesn't matter about them. Come tomorrow night. This time tomorrow night.
You're getting smashed.
Absolutely getting levered. Jordan, big up there, mate. Massive thank you. In here early, 10 minutes earlier than the show was live. Anyway, big up there.
By the way, Jordan, Diogo's back after the international break. He mightn't start in that first game, but he'll be back for the second. He'll probably get a run out in the first game and not the second game. Slot said. So, but I think you're right about December, though. I don't think he'll be fully slotted back into the side until early December.
Yeah, 100%. Within November.
Newcastle, I'd say. Newcastle, so they'll come and want to buy him, I'd say. And they're still after him. Still talks about that.
But yeah, no. It's speaking of Aston Villa and Newcastle, but I tell you what, Aston Villa have leapfrogged Newcastle in terms of development as a football club at the minute. I think the fact that they didn't get Unai Emery as their manager a couple of seasons back, I think they'll still be ruining that opportunity, because for what has been Newcastle's loss, Aston Villa certainly gains a top elite level manager in the dugout anyway. And yeah, Newcastle, if you don't get European football in the next 2 years, apologies to majority viewers and subscribers, you might be struggling to keep all of your best players. That's what happens. That's what happened with Liverpool.
They're still doing okay, though.
Yeah, but
the result against Chelsea, they had a bad 2 weeks, and then they had a good result against Chelsea. No, they've had good results since, beating Arsenal, beating they're coming back into the fray again. So I don't want them coming back into the fray though at the time we're coming to play Liverpool. What do I care? I want to beat everybody at their best anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
they're only 3 points off Chelsea.
yeah.
Yeah, it's mad when you do
analyze. We're still in the mindset that they were crap the entire of September and October. That's our problem. Yeah, we're not thinking about the recent.
Yeah, Isaac, still don't get, like, there's Premier League fans questioning Isaac, mainly because they've all got him in the fantasy football as well. But yeah, strikers do go through droughts as well. And a player like Isaac, if you give him one opportunity in a game, 9 times out of 10, he'll take it, usually.
Ask Peter Crouch.
Yeah, 100%.
At Liverpool, 19 games at Liverpool before he scored a goal. Yeah,
I don't know what. It's massively underrated, Peter.
I love Peter.
I love Peter.
Peter's one of my favorite people. Yeah. Watch play football. He was just so awkward, but so skillful at the same time. He was so hard to deal with. Yeah, so it was brilliant. I love Peter, and plus he's a top guy. Like.
Good. I remember that saying, if you wouldn't be a footballer, what would you be? A virgin. What a comment.
He must be the best person on the planet to take banter.
Yeah,
just because of his.
Yeah.
I seen him on a podcast the other day. He was talking about or it was his own show, and he was saying about his debut coming in. And the whispers that were going on behind him at QPR, and I said, "Oh, holy crap! Look at the state of this fella coming in. Look at this. What's he going to do? Hold up the goalposts?" There was just stuff that went on, and he was taking the banter. He just gave a look over the shoulder, and he came on. Then he said he just had a nightmare first 2 games, and then he said after that he was scoring. So it was grand, like So, yeah.
Yeah, and what an absolute legend Peter Crouch was. And big up there, Tom. How are we, mates? Evening, Jack Laring, Spider. Up the effing Reds, 97, never walk alone as well. Big up there, mates. Even in chat, can't wait for the match. Should be a good one, Tom. I think the main thing for all of us, putting Villa aside, really, is just another game, another opportunity, really, for Liverpool to put on a good performance and really get the international break and we can kind of relax. The maddest one, Kev, I don't know if you've missed this, mate, so obviously Mohamed Salah not getting called up for Egypt, which is a positive for Liverpool.
I think he asked to be not called up though, didn't he?
No, did he? Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, he. I think he requested going back about nearly a month ago. I don't want to be called up for the next international break. I want to concentrate and I think he's on the verge of retiring. To be honest with you, I think he's at that stage where he's kind of like, look, I'll come in, I'll play maybe one more tournament, but I can't get called up to everything. And if so be it, I lose my place. I lose my place. I think he's concentrating on his club football.
Or maybe he's not that many goals off the I was speaking to Vicky and Connor before we come on air tonight, and it was like the manager's like obviously the top goal scorer for Egypt, for the Egyptian national side, and Salah's only 10, 15 goals behind him.
He'll get it.
Is it a bit of that from the manager? You never know. But in terms of but lads, we haven't played anyone above us. Oh wait, we're top of the table. You know that now. There we go. As long as I'm it's Zambian. It's a bit of a mad sense of half anyway. Battling away above them must be that's the in terms of Aston Villa going into this game, Kev, obviously the star performers, Yuri Tielemans, I think he's been one of their top players this season. New signing Onana from obviously Everton. Obviously getting 2 goals. He's
more goals than Tielemans. Tielemans have no goals this season.
Yeah, Tielemans got 3 assists. Ramsey's got 2 assists. Obviously, I think.
But see, these boys haven't come up against the gravy boat. So these lads have to come up against gravy boat tomorrow. The Gravmeister in the middle of the park. The return of King Macca sitting in there. They're all there. These boys haven't come up against them yet. Barkley will be more worried about now than most of them.
So for in terms of their players, lads, and speak about them, who has impressed you this season in regards to Aston Villa in terms of
Tielemans has obviously improved as an actual all-round footballer rather than just doing the same old stuff where he tries to get to the edge of the box and take a long shot. He's brought a lot of passing into his game and development into his game or developing play, creating more chances, a lot more big chances as well. So whether that turns into, they don't turn into assists. So if you count like assists and chances created, you're talking about 9 or 10 this season. So yeah, look, there's a few. Rodgers has stood out for me, as I said up front for them at the moment. He's playing all out. Watkins can score from anywhere. Duran has been really good, but mostly off the bench. So he's like mostly a super sub. He's like a guy you can come on and cause a bit of a nuisance. And he's a bit of a bully on the ball as well.
Yeah, I was going to say a bully, but there's a lot. I've been watching a couple of videos from Aston Villa fans this week, and it seems that he's got a big personality, though, and it's one thing in chat. Obviously, he's a young lad breaking into the Aston Villa side. Obviously, he wants to be playing first team football. I think I've seen a video of him in training this week where Unai Emery just walks off whilst he's debating with the manager. Might have said, but he's got a big personality. Colombian anyway. Luis Diaz will know.
I mean, attitude. You say personality, but you mean attitude.
Attitude, yeah.
And you can't have an attitude like that, man, especially with a respectable manager like that. You play his tactics. That's it. The manager will always try to play. This is what players never understand. They don't care how long they're in it. I play professional football, and no matter how long you're in that game, you have to respect what the manager's tactics are, even if you don't agree with him, because you're there to do that job. If you don't, he'll pull you out. There's a reason why he's not starting is because he's not suiting what the team is doing, and he only wants to suit what himself does. And that's not this guy particularly, but just in general, these kind of fellas that have these kind of egos. You can't have that. You just have to kind of put up, shut up, and then develop as you go along. And maybe you learn something, because at 21 years of age, you certainly don't know everything, regardless of your talent. So that's what I would say. So,
yeah, 100%.
Shut up, and get on with your game.
Yeah, I was going to say the big move will always be there. The continuous development, but
big move if his attitude gets out.
Yeah, I think that won't be. There's been plenty of great footballers that have had that attitude and really let them down as well. I think we could all name 5 players off our own minds anyway. But yeah,
is that a big club? Aston Villa are a big club. They're a massive club.
Yeah.
What's he worried about? Does he think he's above all of that without only stepping in? And I didn't know who he was before he came into the Premier League. Yeah. I'm pretty sure only scouts knew who he was before he came into the Premier League. And if they thought he was any good enough, he would have been at the big boys already by now, or the bigger boys already by now. He's at a big club. I'm not trying to slate the guy. I'm not saying he's probably bad, but if he has this kind of attitude, we had these kind of attitudes at Liverpool when we were at our worst. When Sterling was there, he had a bit of an attitude. When you seen how he treated the club, you've seen Sacco when he was there, he had a bit of an attitude, and how he treated the club. There was a multitude of players. Arfik had all of these. I mean, this is when we're going through a worst period. And Jurgen Klopp said, even himself, if you allow these elements into your club, they'd be gone straight away. He'd find a reason to get rid of them out of the club instantly. So, and that's because regardless of talent, you need to have the right attitude to be a footballer, and to be a footballer in a big club. So, yeah.
100%, miss. Big up there, Lee. Hope you had a good week Friday, mate. Big up there, Niall as well, Tom, Jordan. Get your comments in as well, Reds. Get your starting 11 in, Reds, in terms of your starting 11. Quick Kevs in a little second. Don't think we'll see wholesale changes fairly. We'll speak about obviously our lads as well. Curtis Jones, his improvements in terms of going into this game. Darwin Núñez and the lads as well. But big up there, Lee. Quickly touching on obviously Villa's form recently. No one's seen a lot of them really. Obviously, we mentioned the 1-0 loss to Club Brugge in Europe. I think if you're a Villa fan, you'll be disappointed. I think considering going 3 wins from a possible 3 the previous match weeks in Europe, obviously disappointing. Obviously, if you missed that, go and check out their highlights on their TNT's YouTube anyway. A stupid handball from Tyrone Mings. A 4-1 loss at the hands of Aston against Tottenham. Yeah, it's one of them. Tottenham. It depends what day you get Tottenham on. Really, I think even last season when we played them, should have won. We scored the goals legally, but one of them, a 2-1 loss to Crystal Palace.
All of these clubs, they all burn out in the second half. We turn up in the second half mostly. So as I said to you last week, Jack, we suss teams out. We let them play certain ways. We let them think they're having the ball, and then we absolutely tear that strategy apart, that they can't get back to the original strategy that they had coming into the game because they've just forgotten what they're supposed to do because we flummoxed them. So it's a lot of that down there, and it's a lot, as I said to you last week. And Aston Villa can be torn apart in the second half. Spurs can be torn apart in the second half. Palace, we've seen that, so yeah.
Well, I think when you analyse Villa as well, though, mate, and it's Villa are a team that will kill you on the counter attack.
Yeah,
I think in terms of transition for Liverpool going to tomorrow's game, going back to us as well, though. Kevin chat. I think Liverpool have got to be extremely careful. Obviously, you've got to appreciate their qualities. Aston Villa, in terms of the final third of the pitch, they can break on you with a lot of pace. Really. Oh. poltergeist in my room. The lights going on and off. Nice. But it's got to be games against Villa, Kev. I think Ollie Watkins, I think, was it last season where he missed that absolute sitter against us. And you're like, wow. But in terms of Liverpool going into this game, in terms of for what you've seen of Aston Villa this season, where are the areas of weakness that you'd anticipate Liverpool to hopefully try and exploit?
Oh, mainly their backline, because I don't think they're still trying to play the inverted passes inside, which leaves them open on the wing. So I think the likes of Salah and all that can have a field there.
Yeah.
But you have to see that the deadly thing that Aston Villa have on the counter attack, and you would have thought that against Liverpool previous because of how far Trent used to drift up, but Trent doesn't move anymore. Trent stays out now, and he only drifts up when we're actually there at the edge of the box and putting the pressure on. He doesn't come out as early as he used to, so there's no ball over the top that happens anymore, which is great. And I think that's not the Slot. I think Slot is just telling him, look, don't move, stop playing that ball, and that'll give you more freedom then to move forward. You'll see. You wait that first 25 minutes when they can't do any of this stuff. You'll see you're getting more pockets at the edge of the box to shoot, and he's getting a couple of chances at the edge of the box now, Trent. So I think once you take away the weapon that is the counter attack over the top over Trent for Watkins or anything like that, it nullifies him a bit.
Yeah, I think the third man as well, Chas, anyone not seen a lot of Villa so far this season, they typically do tend to play a 4-4-1-1, obviously with Aaron Rodgers in the hole behind Ollie Watkins as well. But in terms of their expected lineup for tomorrow, Chas, as well, from other journalists as well, they're expected to go with Martinez in goal, Concept right back, Carlos, Pau Torres, centre halves, Digne left back, John McGinn, Onana, Tielemans, Jacob Ramsey, and Rodgers and Watkins as well. But you do analyse that team, Kevin, in terms of that midfield battle. I think come tomorrow will be really crucial. I think going into this game, Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, it's great that we've got this option. I think obviously from week to week, I think we've seen the positives from both of them coming off the bench, starting games as well. It's just obviously some of them, Szoboszlai's been playing great certain weeks, a bit like Jones as well, bit in and out, both of them really. But obviously Curtis Jones, I think, going into this game, mate, I think will be extremely crucial. I think if they do go with the 4-4-1-1 formation, Villa, I think there's certainly pockets of space that Curtis Jones can certainly break that line, get in behind the likes of Onana, Tielemans as well. If he can dispossess those their midfielders, Kev, I think it's certainly we can create a lot of overloads in that Aston Villa penalty area for me.
Yeah. Like I'm going to go back over what I said about Jones and counter myself from the first half of his last few games, because I'm one of Jones's biggest critics, because I'm one of his biggest fans as well at the same time. I do still think he holds onto the ball a bit too long before he releases it. That needs to come out of his game, and that's what probably I focus on more than anything else, because it's there, it's blatant in the face. But I go back to the first half of the last few games, and even, Maka was off the boil a bit, or Gravenberch had a bit too much to do, so it left Jones with no option but to kind of turn a bit and go back a couple of times. But sometimes he would do it when there's players free, and that's what would annoy me. So I'll take back 50% of what I say about his first half previously, but he's been outstanding in the second half of games. He's been outstanding in picking up pockets of space. I really think that if he locked down on the right-hand side of the park rather than the left-hand side of the park, I think he drives Dom out of the squad, out of the starting 11. If he plays the way he has to play, if he plays to the team's strength and not just what he believes, something, because he does have brilliant feet, he does have a great eye for a pass, he does have good skill on the ball, close control on the ball, he does have a good turn on him, but then the difference is he still has, as I keep calling it, Milan Baros syndrome, where the head goes down a bit and he turns, too busy looking at the feet and not looking at that. Hey, there's a guy 10 feet away from me that's completely free for a pass, but he turns back, gets into trouble, turns back, and then it's back with Verge or somebody, or you get the success. If he can take that out of his game, I'm super happy. I think he'll become the all-round one of the best in the league doing what he's doing if he just takes that out of his game, and that's the guarantee. And I've been one of his harshest critics, not to get him out of the side. It's just that he's probably one of the best players in the team with the ball at his feet, and
technically as well.
Yeah, technically. So and with a pass, he's got a great pass. So, but he just needs to get that extra. Because you think in football, it's 3 seconds you hold on to the ball max nearly. But if he's sitting there at 6 and 7 seconds, and all that, it's already in a lifetime, and you're thinking, the chance is gone, and it completely slows down or forward the play. So that's all I would say. Just take that out of his game, and that's all I've really been saying in past years. But yeah,
big update, Tom. 100%, mate. Jones. Big update, Tom. Obviously, Conley, absolute legend, mate. Jones has really started to show the class he's always had. That's the most important thing, innit? It's always been there, as Kev's alluded to. Just sometimes he himself will know it, just speed it up a bit more. I think as soon as he does that, I think the world will be his oyster, really. Who needs was the ball time? He's getting it now. The game time, he's getting it now. Really hope he's starting to get the 90s as well. 100% did some. Fingers crossed. Slot was gas in the press conference about Jones. Gassed 100%, mate. I think need to keep our minds set and get the win. Big up there, Mark. Massive thank you, Jack. Get your XIs in the car, in the chat, Reds. There we go. Can't spell as always. Forward movements is
the fact that you read your own writing in a weird way was even funnier than that. The XI, what's the XI? You wrote it, Jack.
Mad enough. Big up there, Mark, how are we, mate? Thank you very much for dropping, obviously, Niall's channel link. He's known who Niall is, but if you're not aware of his channel, make sure you do head over. Niall does many shows throughout the week. If you're into your boxing, obviously your wrestling, your football, absolutely everything there. So check it out as well, Reds, and new tools as well.
Also to give a shout out to Jamie Phillips and K Mac as well, because they were waxing lyrical about us last night in their chat when they were online. They were just saying a couple of nice things about us last night in the chat. So nice and the channel. So I said I'd give them a hello. How are you?
We do appreciate it.
Plus I'm K Mac's good lucky charm now as well.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's good to see K-Mac, Jay's worked so hard as well on his channel. We'll get you on very soon, lads. But if you're watching on the repeat, hope you're well, lads. And it's great when Liverpool are winning as well. But
they're busier than us, no, they can get us in.
Oh yeah,
we don't have to do the work.
There we go. Yeah, there you go. Happy days. Watkins is a deadly baller. From Tom, he's the danger man tomorrow. I think he has 5 goals this season and a few decent assists already. We need to keep him quiet. 100% there, mate. I do enjoy Kev and chat. Villa are one of those teams.
5 goals to assists.
You just enjoy watching Aston Villa. There's certain teams in the Premier League that I used to like watching Arsenal like 2 seasons ago, but now it's
boring.
Football.
Yeah, it is boring.
Sitting behind the ball when you've got that type of talent.
Same thing that they were complaining about Chelsea. Same thing they were complaining about a multitude of teams in the 90s and 2000s. Everybody used to say boring Arsenal, for years and years, and going back to the 80s and 90s, they were very, very boring at points until the late 90s, until Wenger came in. But look, I see literally.
Don't apologise. No one ever apologised in the comments. You're all very busy. Thank you for taking the time out later to pop in, mate. Much appreciated. And fingers crossed this time tomorrow. We're speaking about Liverpool getting 3 points, mate. Enjoy your weekend, la. Yeah, carry on, la. All good.
Oh yeah, sorry. So what was I saying? I was too busy saying goodbye to Lee because he was sick. Poor Lee, man, you got me from it. Yeah, so Aston Villa. The Arsenal way and the boring way and all that. Yeah, look, Aston Villa have been great for the last couple of seasons in the way they're playing. At the moment, Jack, I think they're the same as Newcastle last season. I think the schedule has caught up with them a bit, and they're feeling the pinch now a small bit. They're feeling the strain on the games. You'll see there's things to start to creep in. Complaints about referees, complaints about it just because of the schedule. There's nothing you can do about that, lads. This is what happens when you play every 3 to 4 days minimum against top talent around the place. It's just something that you have to adjust back to. Not saying that Aston Villa never have; they just haven't done it for a long time. So it's just they're in a completely different mindset. They're long gone from the time that you used to play these kind of games. Week in, week out, and for the whole season. So they need to adjust to that and become that team once again. They're now drifting down to the point in the Champions League where they do have to start making an effort again in it. So regardless of what happens in the Premier League, they know they can do a late push on it at the end of the season. So they might start concentrating a bit more on the Champions League coming up in recent weeks, just kind of, pick their battles really. They'll come at us at Anfield if they can, but just regardless of the Nottingham Forest result, which was a weird result. And look how well Forest are doing this season. They're just playing their kind of way. They're catching teams out. And that's it. Their wing backs have been highly deadly this season, Chris Wood coming completely into form as well this season. Nobody.
By the way,
yeah,
this season,
So nobody expected that kind of thing. The Chris Wood could become the next Andy Carroll kind of job. You're like, just coming out of nowhere and banging in goals left, right, and centre. So nobody gets these results. But Forest have had great results against everybody this season, pretty much so far, and we can't knock that. The thing with with Aston Villa is that they're coming up against the Liverpool side now that are starting to learn how to win. They're starting to learn how to turn over games big time. On the Slot beforehand, I know another weird fun fact, if you hadn't seen the interview with Slot, is that he studied under Pep Linders and alongside Pep Linders and Klopp's tactics in the previous years. So he studied that formation, took those tactics this is why he suits Liverpool so well. He took those tactics that he learned from these guys, saw where the holes were in them and which ones didn't work, developed it himself and brought it back to Liverpool to play. So that's why Liverpool's not changed so much. He's slowed it down a bit, but he's made us more solid. He's made us more defensive minded at the back, but still deadly attacking, but in phases, which is great. And it just goes to show you, this is why Liverpool went for him, because he understood the Klopp style of football at its peak, and Linders and Buvac's even, he said. So, at their peak, he understood this type of football. So
he's clearly not a stupid fella.
No, he's not.
He's not. And I say that quite candidly, really, in regards to you do see certain managers come into the Premier League and certain football clubs, and you throw everything out the football club.
Yeah.
As you just said there, he studied Liverpool quite clearly. I think obviously his presentation would have been very articulate, very thoroughly in depth, really. But in regards to, he's kept the basics. But the basics for Liverpool were league title, Champions League winning team. Yes, it's certain areas do need strengthening, but he's come into this squad and he's probably with his technical team and went, wow. And as we said, obviously with Jurgen Klopp's announcement last year, in around January time, it was obviously we're disappointed really in the way it come about, but quite clearly it gave Arne Slot pretty sure Liverpool
a head start.
Yeah, a head start really.
But even before that, Jack, this is what I'm saying. He already had the head start, because this is going back to 4 or 5 seasons ago that he studied all of this. Just long before he ever even knew he was going to get the Liverpool job, and he came into. He worked with Pep Linders and they did study and they did the tactics together. Came in under Klopp, study when they were doing these kind of master classes of coaching. He went along to him and he studied all of he was showing all their tactics. And your man even said, Linders in the room, saying this is the kind of room that when people come to study this kind of stuff, that you end up getting the Klopp job and you end up getting all of these kind of jobs, or the Liverpool job. Yeah, just watch. There's a more in-depth interview over the last season or the last few months or so, but he brought it back up again recently with Sander Westerveld in the interview there recently. So he brought it back up that he studied Pep's and Klopp's stuff with his own tactics, put them together, and was able to figure out where the holes were in the tactics. So, which is great to watch. That's studying a team and then understanding where the faults lay, because we all love Jurgen Klopp, man, we really do. But he was tired at the end. He didn't have the mindset. He was just letting the lads do what they wanted to do, kind of at the end. And that's no fault of his. They worked their arse off. They won every trophy the last few seasons. But Slot wants to win. He's hungry now. But the players are still hungry. That's the good thing.
Proper students of the game, no, mate.
Proper.
Or even that. But when you look at obviously the fella at Inter Milan, Inzaghi, obviously Amarin going into Manchester United. This is where obviously top young, youthful managers coming through. But
also, can we stop this narrative, Jack, before we get into that about Amarin ever coming near Liverpool?
Oh yeah,
Like I know there was things, but Liverpool looked at the debt. This is what happened, lads, and I'm telling you straight out here what happened. Right, he had to publicly apologise about this. So hang on.
To his own
so to all, everybody, to West Ham, to Liverpool, to all that. Right? So he obviously wanted the Liverpool job because Jurgen Klopp was leaving. Didn't realise that Liverpool were already after looking at the data of managers and went for the top pick, which was Slot. Slot was already interviewed and offered a job before the Amram talk even started, right? So Amram booked his way with hearing that David Moyes could be fired, booked to come and talk to West Ham, but in a rose to try and get Liverpool to bite. So this is all like little sneaky tactics out of him to do it. Liverpool already said it didn't suit, his style didn't suit the way he played. They didn't want to do a 3-back formation. They didn't want to do anything like that. And they said his style didn't suit, and they just went for the Slot was already done and dusted. So, and then all this narrative that you're hearing recently from the Manx saying he turned Liverpool over and he turned Man City down. When were Man City ever in for Amram either? They had Pep Guardiola. Who is trying to replace Pep Guardiola in Manchester City that they're talking to Amram? Get out of fantasy land, lads, and come into reality. This is what actually happened. Saying it on a Facebook post is not going to change that. Yeah. Just look it up. It's right there.
Kev loves to spend his hours.
I do. No, not that. It's just I love cancelling bullshit, Jack. My goal in life is to take it. I like fantasy football when it's on a page and I get to change my players around. This fantasy football notion of people in their heads, call me the fantasy killer if you want me to do it that way. Because I don't like that kind of crap. I will end all that rumour nonsense in 10 seconds once I have the facts.
Yeah. So, let us know. We were made up, all of us, obviously supporting battered Manchester City this week. But I'm pretty sure I didn't see that game. I've seen the highlights and all that. But
City are in the mud, Jack.
Yeah, it's quite.
They're broken up at the back. They're tired looking. They still try to do the City thing at the edge of the box, but they're broken up.
This is where if City aren't on it this season, Kevin, chat. Yeah. We need to be there. We need to be there in the position where we can hopefully win a lot of titles this season. And as we spoke about last night if you haven't seen the episode yesterday, obviously Ballon d'Or for Salah and Virgil. I want to see Van Dijk and I want to see Salah with Ballon d'Ors at the end of their career. Big aspirations, but certainly both players will have hopefully enough time to get one apiece, really. Well, certainly the end of their career at Liverpool, both of them. Hopefully they retire at Liverpool. I want to see a couple of league titles, a couple of Champions Leagues as well. Well, certainly Arne Slot's going along the right way. Anyway, obviously it's only
that all depends. Salah's already got 18 GA. So if you're looking at that kind of route, the only person you'd be worried about at the moment in world football would probably be Haaland start of the season, but then he's gone really quiet at the moment.
If we can take the trophies, though, I know
top it off with the trophies, regardless of that. Like if Salah gets to his 35 plus again with his GA after season, wins a couple of major trophies and a couple of domestic major honours as well. In that, let's do the quad. Let's just do the quad. If he wins like a couple of out of any of them, then we're there. It's like they should have walked away with it a couple of seasons ago. Lewandowski should have walked away with one a couple of seasons ago. But it's just kept going to the same lads that didn't win anything at the time. They were just scoring lots of goals. So, if that's the case, Haaland should have won it last season,
Yeah, I felt he should have won it anyway. But in terms of the fixtures as well, though, Kevin, in chat, going into this game, obviously, got to speak on our game if we can do our job. The main thing is focusing on ourselves, but it is difficult when you do analyse the fixtures this week. For anyone that hasn't seen it, Man City are going away to Brighton at 5:30 on Saturday before our game. So Liverpool and Brighton can do the business for us or for themselves, really, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then Liverpool will be going into that game at home at Anfield. But given, Kev, how difficult it was for Liverpool in the last couple of weeks against Brighton, I know we got past them on both occasions, but didn't make it easy for us, really, in all honesty, mate. And then you do look at, obviously, Chelsea at home against Arsenal. That's on Sunday at 4:30 as well. Just like it was it 2 weeks ago when the results, or last week when the results went forward, is just.
Yeah. I think within that period, it reminds me similar of 2020, the 1920 season, where they were just, everybody was kind of dropping off a bit. All high aspirations. Arsenal were going to come involved with it. United were going to come involved in it. City were going to walk away with it. And then they just started, October just started dropping off. Stupid draws, a loss, a win, another draw, another win, another loss. And then all of a sudden, like 2 draws in a row. It just started happening that way. And in favour of Liverpool, where we just kept going and going. And that's what we need to do. We just have to worry about ourselves, Jack. Yeah. I think the other teams are going to do the business. I think Brighton are a good side. I think City going away to Brighton is a harder game than them going away to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Or them going away to any, So, I believe that Brighton can do the business against City. I believe they can be defensively more sound. And, it's a tough place to go to at the Amex these days. So, and with Chelsea are on the up at the moment. They're making their way into the top 4. They'll have the odd draws and stuff like that. I think Chelsea will just draw, bar us and City. I think Chelsea, well, they might even draw with City at this stage where City are playing, but bar us maybe. I think Chelsea can draw with everybody else out of that top 6, no problem. Or at least beat them, yeah.
It's whether Arsenal, as a team, hit the panic button, really. And we're already, if they do get beat this week, Chelsea, I think for everyone at the beginning of the season didn't anticipate Chelsea to go into this great run of form. We certainly got the quality players, we all know that, but I think it was always...
I find Arsenal with fake bravado, Jack.
Yeah,
I think all this thing with Gabriel, and he's cheering every tackle that he does, and he does that. It's a bit over the top for me, man. You make a fantastic, like Joe Gomez's tackle against Brighton the other day with that block in front, and then that's that last ditch, fantastic, getting in there while your man's getting space, brilliant. That's a cheering tackle. Somebody who comes out, tackles the ball, or tackles him away, and then comes back in there, and he's going, yeah. It's a bit fake. It's like trying to make themselves feel better about something because there's a worry constantly there. It's like covering over a plaster of fear, with them. So it's got. I understand why it's there because they've only just gotten involved recently. But yeah, it's nuts, man. It's just a bravado thing, I think.
Yeah, I think if Arsenal don't win this weekend, especially obviously Chelsea, just ahead of them on goal difference, 2+ for Chelsea going into that game. Yeah. But if Liverpool can, 6, 7, if Chelsea do the business against Arsenal, and we win our game, we will be 10 points clear of Arsenal already at this stage. And we know, as Kev's alluded to, that season we did win the league. We all remember that season where we literally broke countless records at the beginning of the year. No teams being in that big of a position, big of a commanding lead, and not won the league. But obviously we went on and won the league, and that's what it took after 30 years. That's what it takes this season.
Yeah.
It just allows Liverpool to be able to rotate in certain positions. Obviously, the Champions League form's absolutely impeccable at the minute.
We've got the squad now, Jack. We've got a good squad now.
Yeah.
And the good thing about Aston Villa as well is that it's not too detrimental to them if they do lose at Liverpool this week, because if Chelsea and Arsenal do draw, they only end up both only end up a point ahead of Aston Villa. They're all the same points at the moment.
Yeah.
So the worst case scenario is for Aston Villa to lose and have one of the other teams win and pull away a small bit. But the best case scenario for them is that the other two teams draw even if Aston Villa lose, because it means that they're always within a point of them, which is great, Yeah.
100%, mate. 100%.
It matters more to us. We'll be on 28 points. City will be sitting there on 22, 23, 24, and we'll be pulling away. Just pull away. Let's pull away. Let's go. Please pull away.
Could you imagine if we actually won that Forest game? Like, that would be an absolute joke. Well, we still was a draw, and obviously 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. But you look at the goals, obviously scored for Liverpool, 19 goals scored, but only conceded 6 as well. But defensive records done really well. But in terms of going into the game on obviously tomorrow night, mate, obviously Kev will be doing watch along as well, similar with myself, but there will be a post-match show. And obviously on my channel, and obviously Kev's, make sure you head over to Kev's channel as well. Hit that subscribe button as well. And
it'll be all freeze there, though.
No. I think
everything just froze there for me. Yeah, I don't know what's going
on. Your camera connection, really, which is stupid because you've got NASA Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I just sent you a picture today of just taking the physical, Jack. I wonder if I could play Call of Duty. I sent him a picture downloading, right, while I was streaming and doing stuff, and it was like 840, 850 megabit download. So there's no issue with my internet. I don't know what that is.
Big up there, Mark. Massive thank you.
I think maybe a child might have turned off the switch outside, and Danny just plugged it back in again straight away. So
massive thank you for the for Mark for putting Jamie Phillips' channel link in there as well. Head over and subscribe to both lads' channels there in the comments as well. Much appreciated, Mark. I'd say, obviously, that competition, Chelsea should be winning that competition by a canter, really. It's the quality within that. The maddest thing is, in that competition, the Conference League, Chelsea haven't even registered Cole Palmer. I know he's a bit of an injury concern going into this weekend, but I think he'll be fine. He's probably spent Thursday night playing COD or something. Really,
can they re-register him in January again when it goes to the next stage? I think they can, can't they?
I think yeah. I think we.
Yeah. So that's what they do. Yeah, we've done that for a few people as well. Yeah, so I think they can re-register him in January. So there's no point in having him in this stage. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's him to go into this game. Kev, give us a score prediction. Chat, give us a score prediction, and obviously your possible start 11 for you going into this game, mate.
I'm going to say 3-1 to Liverpool. I think it's that kind of result at home. Only because it's the second half team we turn up. Only the Villa kind of burn out second half. They might put up a fight at the first half. Watkins always kind of likes to goal against us. He's able to nick in, but I'm just thinking that was in the Klopp side. I kind of want to say 3-0, but I'm going to say 3-1. That way, I don't think it's going to be as tight as 2-1 around that, unless they really, really turn up. We are talking about 8 p.m. under the lights at Anfield. When it's prime Anfield, people have been bevying up for a while. It's going to be noisy. Everybody's going to be it'll be like a European night. You play I'd play it Saturday at 8 p.m. every bloody week if we could, Yeah. So it's just. It's going to be too much of this game. And Villa at their peak last season lost 3-0 at Anfield. And they were better last season than what they were this season. Yeah. So I'm saying 3-1 that kind of way, just to be kind of nice. I think we have a lot of 3-1 wins. Yeah, I think so.
Mark's on 3-1. I'm gonna go 2-0 going into this game.
That's a good call.
I think quickly we can probably agree on the same team straight away. Obviously, in terms of Keller in goal, and Trent, Ibu, Virgil, Costas to stay in. Yeah, I think Costas does.
Yeah, and he's not fully there. Yeah, he's nearly there. He's getting fitter, but he's not fully there. There's slots that he's only at like 70% of what he's at because he came really late into the preseason.
Midfield 3 for me and Kev. Chat, let us know. I think we can all agree. I think Maka, Grav, and Curtis.
Yeah, I would say Curtis this time around. I would just against the Aston. Well, I'm thinking, do you want to counter that Aston Villa midfield? It all depends on what McGinn turns up and what Ramsey turns up. If they're
McGinn's got an engine on him, even if
he has, he reminds me of Andy Robertson as well. He'll just run with the head down and bulldoze through you if he has to. So it all depends.
If McGinn was 5 years younger. Yeah. And I think he would have been a perfect Jurgen Klopp type player in terms of the engine on him and quality really as well. So would you go Curtis in the midfield for you? Or?
I think
it's a great option to have, isn't it?
It is. Who started? Did Curtis start midweek? He did, and he came off in the 71st minute. So I think Szoboszlai start. Yeah, because of that, and I think Curtis come on later. I do want Curtis to stay in there and see what he can do again from another start. But I don't think he'll.
Diaz, Gakpo through the middle and Salah.
No, I'd have Diaz through the middle. I'd have Gakpo on the left, and I'd put Gakpo in the. Diaz was phenomenal through the middle the other night against that side.
Yeah,
I would try Diaz there, and I would keep it going, regardless of Nunes coming back or Nunes being there or Jota. If Diaz is in form as he's dropping on, and he does too. That's a hat trick in his first start in the middle of the park in the striking role. That's and the chances he was created. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, Diego Carlos chat as well. He loves a sending off, or he loves a card as well. Especially the interesting one, Gav, I don't know if you, I'm pretty sure you picked up on it and Reds as well, Swinton Connor and Ricky this week, in regards to the idea. I think obviously we've all seen the interview with Slot where he described why he picked Diaz, which was fascinating, really, in terms of just getting in behind Jonathan Tah. I think Carlos can be very similar in regards to flash, very, very aggressive in the way in which he defends. So
it's all hands as well.
Yeah, so if
he'll drag him and Diaz will be spinning and falling everywhere.
So obviously Brazil versus Colombia as well. So a battle to keep an eye on. Reds, I think Diaz can get the better of them. I think we can certainly put their back line. But the main thing going into this game as well, Kevin, it's start quick. I think we'd like a bit more of a better start going to this first opening 45 minutes because Villa have certainly got the qualities to very much punish us if we're not on it. But as Kev alluded to, the European night atmosphere come tomorrow night at 8 p.m. It's going to be electric. I'm hoping the results go our way early stages Saturday, and focus on ourselves. But it does help when teams in and around us are dropping points, and if Liverpool for the second week running can capitalise when results go our way, puts us in such a promising position, Kev.
Yeah, it's about time we started capitalising on these draws and losses. You know, we didn't do it for a long time, and it was those kind of situations were the difference between us winning titles and that. Not this 11mm crap over the line against City. It was these throwaway games when City were losing. You know, so that we almost should win games for Liverpool. These are the ones that cost us in any one of these seasons. Yeah,
even under Rafford as well. The countless draws we had
at
the football club.
Nuts.
We were the ones numerous league titles, especially against obviously Manchester United as well. But even when we were competing with United, I think United will come again. I'll tell you what, though, if we are winning league titles, I think we will under Arne Slot. I think those titles will make it even more sweeter.
That's what I want. I want that. I want them to be better than what they are because I want to beat them at their best. Yeah. And regard, they've got top class talent. You know, they're just a crap team. And
it's always been Liverpool's been great in the 70s and 80s, and then United come in obviously early 90s as well, and something like that. But
there's only 2 or 3 times that we got one on either side of us that were I don't know, like I know the rivalry comes from the canal and all of that, but there's never really been this square up straight football, you know, battle between the two for like that top spot, maybe 2009 and going back to the early 2000s again.
That would be peak Premier League, though. Like that would be peak. None of this nonsense of Manchester City. I get obviously you've had a great side since Pep's come in as well, and obviously they won numerous league titles as well. But and football for that, obviously the rivals as well. Football didn't start in the 1990s as well. It did start in obviously the early 1900s as well for many of the teams as well. But
people seem to forget that the Division 1 or the First Division the old honour for that is the same honour as the Premier League. It's only the trophy has changed in the format. They changed it for tax reasons and to found a new group to separate it from the FA. That's it, you know, because it was like a buyout thing so that they'd make more money, and all of a sudden money would come flowing in because they could sell the rights to TV things more and do different types of sponsors. That's all that is. The honour is exactly the same. So when somebody says that somebody's got this Premier League titles, that they haven't. It's the top class titles. And not because we've only, you know, done one with that trophy. We've still got 19 titles. You know, that's the difference. You see, that's what you always have to say to a United fan when they ask you this question. When they turn around and say to you, Liverpool with only one title, they have the same title as Leicester or Blackburn or whatever like that, I turn around and say to them, why do you sing 20 times then? Yeah. Why don't you sing 13 times? Yeah. You know? So because why? Because 20 times, you won the title 20 times. That's it. So why do you sing it? Why don't you sing it? It's all the same. They're the same honour. It makes them look stupid because you know why, Jack? The minute they start saying stuff like that, it means that Liverpool can never be surpassed. Do you know why? Because we've had 18 old ladies and that can never be beaten again. Whereas United can be overtook in the next few years by City or by the next one down the line that has, even Chelsea could catch them up in the next 10 years if they wanted to. You know, and that's, if they want to go down that road, they can always be caught. Whereas Liverpool can't. And that's it just brings up the legend of Liverpool even more so with their stupidity.
Yeah, the rivalry though, I think it is the best rivalry. It's probably up there in
100%
football as well. Like, but yeah, United. Not that we are in a hurry.
Not lately, but it's
still them back. But I think it just doesn't have that gravitas really when you are going head to head against Manchester City. It just like they try and it's like nah, get in your box. Yeah,
it'll feel much better if it was against them.
Yeah. Forest have got more European Cups than Man City. Yeah. Even Villa level. And Villa have been missing in Europe for the last 70 years anyway.
Chelsea have more.
Yeah, yeah, kills. We'll be here all night, just naming European winners, especially in the Premier League. That have got more than one. But Kev, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No problem.
Reds, massive thank you if you are watching on the repeats as well. Really do appreciate it. It's Friday evening. If you're watching this Saturday morning or whatnot with the build up, let us know your thoughts in the game anyway. And there will be a post match on my channel. Kev, you will be live. Anyone watching on the repeats, anyone not aware of your channel, just please do shout out where everyone can find you, please, mate.
Yeah, you'll find me for football related stuff at Spider LFC on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and you'll find me at Irish Spider Guy or just Spider at all the rest plus Twitch. And I'm also able to go live on TikTok now, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be setting up a panel if I can tomorrow sometime where there's a TikTok panel to go live in TikTok while I'm doing my live stream as well. And the thing, so we'll try and get that set up tomorrow to replace Kick, because Kick is not I set up Kick and it sends there, but there's limitations to what you can do there at the moment. So I'd rather put TikTok in there because it's much more lucrative of finding friends.
Yeah, happy days, lads. Thank you as always, mate, for coming on. And chat. Have a lovely rest of your Friday evening. What are you getting up to anyway? Yeah, and main thing is focusing on our team in terms of picking up 3 points will be very difficult. We're all anticipating I think it will be one of them. It will be a very cagey game. We're not going to have it all of our way. Obviously, we'll certainly give Villa, not intentionally, but Villa, they play their maximum. They'll give us a very right old game, really, to say the least, as well. But big up there, Tom. Take care, lads. Looking forward to tomorrow and all the purple effects of pressure if we win as well. Yeah, I tell you, Kev, as we said tonight, mates, and chat, if Brighton can do us a little cheeky favour tomorrow, or they can do themselves a favour, then yeah, that atmosphere tomorrow will absolutely be bouncing.
Actually, yeah, if Brighton win tomorrow and Chelsea and Arsenal draw, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Brighton will all be on the same points.
Yeah, focus on ourselves. I tell you what, that would be some battle for like top four. And
top four, yeah. Let them at the top four. Drag City back into that, would you?
There we go.
I'll definitely take that. Just let us off in our own. Let people not be talking about us after January, except to say, Liverpool, Liverpool. That's all I want is just go, no, but what about the battle down there? Yeah, keep talking about the battle down there. We're just going, yeah. You know, that's what I want to hear.
Oh, Liverpool won again. The Farmers League.
That's the best kind of complaint. Yeah, this would have been a Farmers League if it wasn't for Liverpool, by the way. Yeah, so.
Yeah. And I watched speaking of I was off talking about if you're wanting something to watch, I watched the Kaiser, obviously the film about obviously Franz Beckenbauer.
Yeah.
I think that's on Sky. I think I watched it yesterday. Yeah, it's an interesting little video film anyway.
Yeah.
And little documentary. What a player he was back in the day as well, Chad.
Oh yeah,
two-time Ballon d'Or winner. The modern day, like the one of the many architects within European football in terms of ball playing centre halves, playing the ball from the back as well, coming into midfield as well, and yeah, all that good stuff. But definitely check that out if you're wanting something to watch this weekend. That's on Sky Cinema or whatever it is. Yeah, it's on there. But good watch anyway. Well, Kev. Enough about Bayern Munich. Liverpool, we're going to be flying tomorrow, fingers crossed. I'll be doing a watch along as well. Kev will be doing. But massive thank you for coming on, mate, as always. But chat, have a good weekend. See you tomorrow at 8:15. Ta-ra.